It's Thursday, May 15th, 2025. Breaking news tonight. The SEC just cracked open an old can of worms, and surprise, it reeks of bloated metrics and inflated egos. Coinbase is under investigation again, but this time, it's not for trading unregistered securities. Nope. This time, it's about user counts. Specifically, whether they cooked the books on how many people actually use the platform.
We know about this.
Yeah, big week for Coinbase, Scott. The company confirming the SEC has been investigating whether it has misstated its user numbers. The inquiry focuses on the number of verified users reported by Coinbase. The New York Times reported this afternoon Coinbase has claimed as more than $100 million, 100 million verified users in various securities and filings and marketing materials. Paul Graywall, their chief legal officer, explained in a statement that was shared with us that includes anyone who has verified their email address or phone number with Coinbase, so the number may overstate the number of unique customers. Now, the investigation began during the Biden administration, which Graywall also points out that administration was famously hostile toward the crypto industry and has continued under the Trump administration's, of course, more crypto-friendly SEC. Graywall also said this is a holdover investigation from the prior administration about a metric we stopped reporting 2.5 years ago, which was fully disclosed to the public. While we strongly believe this investigation should not continue, we remain committed to working with the SEC to bring this matter to a close. Shares taking another leg lower on this story, already under pressure after this morning's reported hacks.
Turns out that 100 million verified users, claimed from back in 2021, might have included anyone who so much as sneezed near the sign-up page. Verified phone number? Counted. Email address? Counted. Grandma accidentally clicked the link? Probably counted. Meanwhile, the real action is with monthly transacting users, a number Coinbase quietly pivoted to once the smoke cleared. Coinbase's legal team says this is a holdover investigation from the pre-Trump days and wants it buried. But the SEC, still hungover from last cycle's crypto drama, isn't ready to let go. This isn't just about numbers, it's about trust. And when your metrics start looking like they were written by a marketing intern on Adderall, regulators get itchy. Coinbase says they've always been transparent. The SEC says, yeah, we'll see about that. And the rest of us, we're just wondering how many of those 100 million were bots, burner phones, or Brian Armstrong's alternate accounts. Welcome to America, where even the user count is financial theater. I'm Max Voltz, and this is CryptoWars, the only show where verified user means someone once sneezed near a CAPTCHA. And just when Coinbase thought the metrics mess was enough drama for 1 week, bam! Enter a cyber attack, a stock slump, and a ransom note. Coinbase stock dropped 7% after hackers reportedly swiped sensitive customer data and demanded $20 million in hush money. Armstrong, in full "we don't negotiate with terrorists" mode, hopped on X and said nope, no ransom paid. Instead, Coinbase's counterpunch, a $20 million bounty to hunt the attackers down. That's right, bug bounty meets bounty hunter. The breach exposed names, addresses, social security digits, bank info, basically everything except your Coinbase password and browser history. Thankfully, they say less than 1% of monthly users were affected. Unthankfully, that still translates to thousands of pissed-off customers and potentially $400 million in cleanup costs. And just as this chaos hit the fan, the same day, news breaks that the SEC's still digging into the verified user scandal we mentioned earlier. 1-2 punch. What was supposed to be Coinbase's victory lap, joining the S&P 500 and buying Deribit for nearly $3 billion, turned into a regulatory beatdown and a data breach disaster. Brian Armstrong had just declared, "Crypto is updating the financial system." And the financial system replied, "Cool story, bro. Here's a subpoena and a security incident." Coinbase got listed on the S&P and almost delisted from common sense. And speaking of questionable judgment, let's pivot from cyber attacks to the crypto keynote nobody saw coming, unless you're deep into simulation theory. Eric Trump just stepped onto the stage at Consensus 2025 and declared himself the spiritual godfather of American Bitcoin. That's right. The former first son is now co-founder and chief strategy officer of a new Bitcoin mining outfit, launched in partnership with Hut 8. Because obviously, nothing says sound money like a legacy brand built on vodka, golf courses, and subpoenas. Trump told the crowd he believes in Bitcoin as digital gold, a store of value with 60% annual returns and American-made mining. He wants to be the cheapest Bitcoin producer on Earth, powered by the lowest cost energy in the world. Never mind that half the country's grid is held together by duct tape and congressional prayers. But here's where it gets even more on brand. He says his crypto awakening came when the same people who attacked his family started going after crypto. You heard that right. His origin story isn't about financial freedom or decentralization. It's about political beef and revenge mining. Imagine getting orange-pilled out of spite. Legendary. Eric promised to mine a tremendous amount of Bitcoin, because of course he did, and wants to win the global hash race with made-in-America rigs. What could possibly go wrong? From Mar-a-Lambo to Mega Hash, American Bitcoin is here and it's got Trump DNA, which means it's going to be huge, or under federal investigation by next week. And just when you thought Consensus 2025 couldn't get any weirder, we take it to the top. Not the market top, the government top. Bo Hines? Yes, White House Bo Hines. The guy running digital asset strategy at the President's Council stepped on stage and straight up said, "The U.S. government holds Bitcoin, and we're not selling."
But how much of a priority is crypto, which is admittedly a small corner of finance at this stage?
Well, I think with Genius moving forward and the regulatory environment that we're going to build and the integration of these technologies into the traditional financial system, it's going to be a much larger part of our economy very quickly. I think the president certainly understands that. He's the first openly pro-crypto president that we've ever had. He certainly understands the necessity to move on these things, which is why he's pushed to have these legislative priorities move forward in the first year of this administration. Our colleagues on the Hill understand how important this is for us and how important it is for the president. And so, it is a large part of the conversation that's happening in the building. We view this as a way to, unlock new technology for U.S. capital markets, and we're very proud of the ingenuity of the American people and their ability to integrate these technologies, their ability to be forward-thinking. We want to give them all the tools at their disposal to build and create and innovate in the United States. Like my message to folks that have gone offshore is welcome home. We are going to create the cleanest and most robust regulatory environment that could possibly exist for digital assets in the United States of America. And we're going to do it very quickly, and we're going to do it on the president's timeline.
Let that sink in. Uncle Sam is now a hodler. Not only is the government holding, they're actively looking for ways to buy more without raising taxes. So either they've discovered yield farming on the side, or someone finally found that Pentagon black budget wallet labeled Satoshi Savings. Hines made it clear, Bitcoin stands alone. The White House has it stashed, and they're not touching it. In fact, they're scouting ways to stockpile even more. This isn't about tech anymore. It's about monetary dominance. Earlier this year, Trump signed an executive order launching the National Strategic Bitcoin Reserve, which sounds like a Bond villain plan cooked up on Telegram. It even includes a digital asset stockpile of ETH, XRP, ADA, and Sol, basically the presidential version of a MetaMask wallet. But here's the kicker. Hines said it's all about modernizing ancient payment systems. Translation, we broke SWIFT, we broke the dollar. But hey, Taproot is looking spicy. The US isn't just regulating Bitcoin anymore, it's accumulating it. We're not saying Satoshi works for the Treasury, but we're not saying it. And now, in the news that might actually make your grandma ask for a MetaMask tutorial, your crypto is going mainstream, one swipe at a time. MoonPay just teamed up with MasterCard to drop a game-changing announcement.
MasterCard now teaming up with crypto startup MoonPay to enable stablecoin payments with MasterCard cards. This is a huge development in the world of stablecoins. Join us right now, first on CNBC from Toronto, is MoonPay's founder and CEO, Ivan Soto-Wright. Good morning to you. Just because some folks may not understand what this all means, break down the technology here. So MasterCard, well, I won't even do it. You do it, Ivan.
Awesome. Well, thanks for having me again. It's great to be back on the show. From our perspective, we think stablecoins are a really big deal. It's actually quite personal for me. I'm half Venezuelan, and there are people all around the world that receive money from the United States. This is a new technology layer. Stablecoins are dollars on a blockchain. Anyone with an internet connection, anyone with a phone can receive money in the form of the US dollar at the speed of light, the speed of the internet. And from our perspective, we want to see this embedded everywhere. The next logical step for us was, okay, there's 120 million unique wallet addresses that have stablecoins, 30 million active users. How do we make that possible for them to spend those stablecoins? Logical next step was with MasterCard. They've been a phenomenal partner. We've been working with them over the past couple of years. Shout out to Michael and Sherry, the president over at MasterCard, to bring this to life. But we want to make this more accessible. MoonPay has been about building the backwards compatibility of the existing financial system. So this made a lot of sense.
Stablecoins are now spendable at over 150 million merchants worldwide. That's not just your favorite crypto cafe. We're talking gas stations, grocery stores, and that sketchy massage chair in the airport terminal. Any crypto wallet, yes, any can now issue a virtual MasterCard linked directly to your stablecoin balance, which means you can pay rent, buy tacos, or grab concert tickets without ever touching fiat. No conversion fees, no middlemen, no begging banks to play nice. It's not just MoonPay. MasterCard is moving like a DeFi degen in a bull market. They've already partnered with OKX and Kraken to roll out crypto debit cards in Europe and the UK. And earlier this year, they added support for tokenized treasuries with Ondo Finance, because apparently even your RWAs are going contactless now. This isn't some future utopia. It's today. One app, one wallet, and boom, you're living off-chain but spending like a boss. MoonPay just made it official. Your wallet is your bank, your card, and your statement. Fiat's not just fading, it's getting ghosted. That's it for tonight's top stories. If you're still measuring your net worth in dollars, well, that sounds like a you problem. I'm Max Voltz, and this is CryptoWars. Stay sovereign, stay spicy, and remember, this is a grassroots transmission. No corporate backing, no algorithmic handouts. We run on digital defiance and truth with a hash rate. So do your part. Detonate that subscribe button like it's tethered to the legacy banking system. Join the rebellion. Help us keep this signal alive. Together, we're not just watching history, we're rewriting it on the blockchain.